Hi everybody, it's Stephen Diamond from that crazy show Tiger King Season 2, the Doc Antle story, only on Netflix. And I've been getting thousands of comments from the millions of people who have watched the show already. The show's climbing up the charts on Netflix and we appreciate it so much. And so I wanted to address a couple of the comments that I've been getting from all of you. Everybody's been wondering, is Doc Antle a cult leader? And is the Myrtle Beach Safari some sort of a cult? So I'm going to answer that question for you, and it's real simple. In my opinion, my experience, while I traveled around the world with Bhagavan, I knew him for a very long time, worked with him very, very closely, is that yes, he is a cult leader. He has designed his entire operation to keep people contained, controlled, and within. Let me explain that a little bit. So the difference between a cult and a religion is what happens when you try and leave. So for example, if you're in some sort of a religion and you suddenly decide, you know what, I don't want to be a part of this anymore and I'm going to go someplace else, they wave goodbye to you and they go bye-bye, go to the next church or whatever. They really don't try and resist. But when you're in a cult, it's completely different. Because what happens when you try and leave is the difference between a religion and a cult. So when you're trying to leave a cult, you're going to be met with some sort of resistance. There's going to be a group of people, barriers, there's going to be rules and regulations that are going to try and keep you within. You can see this in any kind of a cult. If you look around, it's always the case. And if you were to go to the Myrtle Beach Safari right now today and you were asked the people that work there currently, are you in a cult? The answer would be unequivocally, no, I'm not in a cult. And the reason is they would find that absurd. They would find that ridiculous because they're like, no, of course not. I'm not in a cult. But then ask them how easy it is for them just to drop everything and leave, because that's where they will meet the resistance. I assure you that Bhagavan will be right there to make sure that you're not going anywhere unless he wants you off the property and wants you to go. Then you'll go. But it's at his sole discretion, and he's got them tied up by contracts. He's got them tied up with rules and regulations that they have to follow. He controls what you eat, when you sleep, what you do, who you see, who you come in contact with. Everything is under his control, and that's exactly the way it was from day one at the Buckingham Zoological Park, where it all started with me some 35 years ago. So I think it's really important for you to understand and keep in mind that these people have the illusion of free will. They believe that they're free. They believe that they can go do whatever they want. But the truth is they cannot, because if at any time they were to try and leave, they would be met with some sort of serious resistance. Throughout my association with Bhagavan, I experienced many violent, very physical, violent altercations with Bhagavan. Not just with me, but also with other members of the cast and crew. And so it's very clear, the evidence is there. Now, of course, Bhagavan's going to deny all this, and he's going to talk all kinds of trash about me. He's going to say that we're all lying, that it's a fake TV show, that none of this is real, that it's all stuff that's made up just for TV ratings. But I ask you this question. There is 35 years of victims in his wake. There are 35 years of people that he has destroyed. There are 35 years of people with long histories in therapy, like myself, who have had to do the hard work of recovery and repairing the damage that came from being involved with him. Nothing good comes from being involved with Bhagavan Antle. Nothing. You're not going to gain anything. If there's anything to gain, it's going to be gained by him. This, I can assure you, is true. So I hope that answers some of your questions out there. I've been getting inundated by thousands of questions. Everybody wants to know, is it a cult? Is he a cult leader? Yes. He does meet the clinical definition of what a cult and a cult leader is. And I experienced it myself from day one. You know, Bhagavan tried very hard to get me to use a Sanskrit name. He wanted to change my name, and I refused to allow him to do that. Now, I changed my name for show business reasons. The very first time I went to Japan, the promoter of that show told me that my real name didn't translate well in Japanese and asked me if I could come up with another name to replace it so that he could put my name on the marquee. And I came up with the name Diamond. And the reason for that is a diamond, it starts out as an unwanted, rough piece of carbon that only after extreme pressure is applied, it emerges this beautiful, shiny, valuable gemstone. And I thought that was very analogous to the kind of life I was living at the time. So that's the reason I changed my name. But Bhagavan wanted me to change my name for a completely different reason. And that reason is because when you're in a cult, the cult leader will try and break you down. He'll try and destroy you piece by piece by piece so that he can rebuild you and remold you and shape you in the image he wants to see, in what's most valuable for him and his organization. So it's all about control. It's all about power and domination. You know, Bhagavan became a predator, not unlike the predators he has spent his entire life keeping. And so that's a very important thing to understand about him. And it's one of the keys to understanding who and what he is. So it's a fascinating story. It's something that I have spent decades of my life trying to repair the damage and move on. I spent most of my life trying to forget him and all of these people and all of this craziness. And somehow we're at a full circle moment where now it's right back in the middle of my life again. But I'm a completely different person today. And so I have the skills and the coping mechanisms within me to be able to handle all of this stuff. And that's thanks to decades of therapy that I went through because of what I experienced with him. So I hope that answers some of your questions. Keep those questions and comments coming. I would love to answer more. You can find me on TikTok and on social media everywhere. And I love reading your comments out there. Thank you so much. Please subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. There's more coming. And I look forward to talking to you again soon.